Hello everyone. Wanted to make a quick video explaining leverage because I think more of you were left confused at the recent post than understood what I was talking about. So I find that most people seem to have this case here where they think that a $100 long at 20x leverage is a major difference from a $100 long with no leverage, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that in practice, it makes no difference, right? Leverage has no real impact on profit and loss, and let me show you what I mean. If I go on Mexi here, and I'm on a little burner account, I just got $100 in that account, so it makes the calculations easy. In practice, what we do when we enter any kind of trade is we have a determined stop loss beforehand, right? So based on that stop loss, we set our position size. So what most people seem to think is that you do $100, and then if you go on 20x leverage, you're essentially trading with $2,000, right? But that would be assuming, right? If I just set this to USDT, that would be assuming I use the whole account. I'm using 100% of my account on 200x leverage, but that's not what we do when we're trading, right? When we're trading, what we do is we set the leverage to whatever, it doesn't really matter, like I said. But we determine where we want our stop loss based on the chart. So if I was entering a long position here for whatever reason, what I do is I'd click this long TPSL button and I'd set my stop at 2.5. Now, what that tells me is that if it gets to 2.5, I'd lose $200, right? Now I'm on a $100 account, so that's not really going to work. So what do? I slide this all the way down until that P&L is something I'm comfortable with. And when I say comfortable, in reality, it should be less than 5% of your account, right? If you're risking more than 5% of your account on any given trade, you are trading with uh, too much risk on any given position. But that's a topic for another day. But in reality, what I'm doing now, right, is I've got a $40 position and I'm losing $6 of that. So if I do this in terms of width, right, to if I scale this up the same way, right, to get this to $6, so that's 6% of my account. In reality, that'd be too much, but for this example, it's just the way it is. Um, I can buy 15 width to reach that risk. If I go on 100x or 50x leverage right now, right, I need less money to open that position, but I'm still only opening 15 width because otherwise I'm risking too much, right? My leverage has no impact. I'm still buying 15 width because of my position size. I'm not opening a full 50x of my account. I get liquidated literally 10 times over before it hit my stop loss, right? So regardless of leverage, this is why I say it doesn't matter for P&L because we're not the only thing that impacts our P&L is the actual quantity. What most people seem to think is that the quantity that they're entering is what's called their margin, right? That means that when they put in $100 here, right, and I can put in 15 width right now, they're thinking they're putting in $100 here, right? That they're putting $100 and then it becomes 500 because of the leverage. No, this is already the full position quantity. It doesn't change. So if I do this in units of width, right, 15 units, we found that's to if it hit our stop loss, that's uh where we'd get taken out essentially, right? So that's where we want our stop loss. That's the risk we want to take. If I open this position, and I'm not going to open 15 width, but whatever, I'll open 15 width. Um, oh, I can open 10. Great. I should have done this on something else. But when I open this position, what you'll notice here is my margin is $6, right? I spent $6 to open this position, right? If I go on a higher leverage, all that does is that decreases my. If I open a position on higher leverage, all that does is that decreases my margin. So if I now open 10 width again, right? Uh, all this does, right? The TP is the stop loss is still the same, right? Still 6.35, even though I'm on 50x now, right? If I open that position, my margin's now 60 cents, right? And all this does is this adds liquidation risk. So if this now trades to 3.84, I lose that 60 cents. But the margin and the leverage should never be part of your calculation, right? When you enter a trade, all you need to do, just sit on low leverage so you don't need to worry about the leverage and liquidations, right? And then you enter your position. Now, if I open this on 5x, right? Same position we just had. What is that? That's $6 in margin, and my liquidation price is now at 2.54. What we'll notice though is my stop loss is lower than my liquidation. So all I do is I go on the little edit button next to margin and I increase it. And now my liquidation level is below my stop loss, and I literally do not need to think for a moment about leverage. Because again, it has no impact. The only thing that changes how much money you make or lose is your position size. So if we take this example, right, this is a $2,000 position size in what he's assuming, and this is a $100 position size. But that's not what we're doing in practice. We're entering a $100 position size either way, but in one case, we only need $5 to do it, and in the other case, we need $100 to do it. So at the end of the day, all leverage is a way to trade with more money without locking up as much, right? So in practice, all we really need this leverage for, it's two things. It's one, so we need less money on the exchange to open the same amount of position size, i.e. less counterparty risk. And two, if we trade these really low time frames, right? If I go to Bitcoin, for example, on the 1 minute, if I want to trade the 1 minute, a move like this is like down to those lows, that's 0.3%. That's not really worth talking about if you're trading with $1,000, right? But if we're now like percentage wise, it's very low. But if we're trading on leverage, we can now open more of our position, more of our account size based on that risk. So if I close this out again, right? If I were to short Bitcoin, for example, this is where I might take higher leverage, right? My stop loss might be above those highs. We go 6,846, right? If I slider this up, it's only 60 cents. So what do? I increase my my leverage. Now this is 20x my whole account, puts that risk at my stop loss at $5, right? 5% of my account. And that means this take profit that usually would be insignificant would be 5% of my account, right? So leverage lets us trade these lower time frames. So it's not to increase position size or increase exposure. It's just to enable you, right? Our risk management is the same, right? We're trading based on the stop, right? Our stop loss is there, and if it gets there, we lose 5%. But we're not going on high time frames and going 20x our whole account, because what happens for taking, for example, a long instead, and we set our stop on that low, with that same position size, all of a sudden we lose our entire account, right? So again, just has no impact on your P&L. It's just the quantity, and you just adjust your quantity to fit your stop loss, right? That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about leverage. Just adjust your quantity to fit your stop loss, enter your position, and after you've entered, if your liquidation price is higher up than your stop loss, which right now it is, all we do is add margin, right? Right? Liquidation price 62.5, stop loss 64. We don't need to worry about leverage anymore. It's done.